Hey, this is Cherrie, and you're watching D Blake Worldwide on YouTube.
So right now, it's Music Worldwide, Dan Blake, Post 88 Radio. I'm here right now with Cherrie, aka Cherrie Ann, which is your real name, right?
Yeah.
Cherrie Ann. You know, from Oslo, Norway, 300 miles from Holleby
Yeah.
in Sweden. You know, we're driving around there, so I remember the road signs.
Yeah.
Grew up in Finland, then moved to Sweden, to Rinkeby in Stockholm.
Yes.
You know, your third culture kid, as you say.
Yeah.
You know, your first album. You want to tell the people what that's called?
Cherrie
Ann, after your name. It's out now. And you released a big single, 163. From that. Welcome, man. Music Worldwide. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So I just want to get straight into it, man. I want to know some of your early musical influences that got you into singing.
It's quite a big of a spectrum, just because of the fact that, like, growing up, obviously the 90s are.
Yeah.
I guess you could tell that from my music, but also, you know, because I was born in '91, so I was a kid back when, like, I was still a child when Aliyah and Brandy and they were doing their thing. But more so even like the early 2000s, Destiny's Child, yeah, even JoJo. But you know, everything from Motown to Swedish hip hop to UK music to Hindi music, Bollywood music, movies and whatnot. There's a lot of different inspirations, but like the main one would be R&B overall, I'd say.
So you're very cultured, a lot of very different influences there.
Yeah.
I remember you saying in the interview, you listened to a lot of Lethal B when you was growing up.
Yeah.
Lethal Bizzle, you also worked with Stormzy.
Yeah.
Was grime an influence on you coming up, man? Grime music, like 140 BPM tempo in the UK.
You know the funny thing is, like, I've known about grime for a long time. But it was weird because not a lot of people did. Like back in the day in Sweden, people knew about maybe like Dizzy Rascal and like Kano, but that was about it. And then obviously I had cousins here, so I used to come here all the time. But also, for some weird reason, my mom got us this parable where you can get like channels from all the different countries in our house. And for some weird reason, I had Channel U.
Oh, wow. Channel. You was an original Channel U raver.
I used to have Channel U at home, like on my TV. So I used to watch it every day. Yeah, every day. And that's where I found like certain songs. Yeah. And then like we started playing, like, Lethal B Power at house parties. And then it got even more famous. So, I mean, I've always known about, I wouldn't say like I know a lot about grime, but I mean like, I have my favorites and I know like a little bit. So like going on tour with Stormzy and Lethal, that was an amazing experience to me, just because of the fact that it represents something nostalgic to me as well.
You think possibly you could do like in the future maybe like a song in Swedish like over 140 BPM tempo?
You know what it is? Like I don't know. I probably could, and it wouldn't even. I don't think it would have come out like weird, just because it has imprinted my teenage years and whatnot. But I did a song that's on SoundCloud. It's not grime, it's like two-step ish. And that was like my first ode to like having to growing up in UK culture and music.
What's that one called?
Steve. Which means style.
Steve, okay. Means style. Okay. So we're learning some Swedish right now.
Yeah.
And I'm about to do the language check, which I always do with international guests, from around the world.
Okay.
You can teach me something in Swedish, for my next trip to Örebro or Rinkeby, man. I need to learn something that's hip.
Okay, do you know a certain word that you would like to know?
Just like, what's going on, fam? How's everything?
Vad händer, bre?
Okay, so I just need to know how to say it correctly.
So that was like slang.
Yeah, that was slang.
Okay. Yeah. Because the way you said it was in this slang sentiment.
So we're just getting, a little, Cherrie needs that coffee, that hot drink on camera.
Thank you.
What are you sipping there? Let people know.
I think it's cafe latte.
Cafe latte, that's how we do it,
But yeah, vad händer? It's like, what's up? What do you mean? Like, 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 what like yo, what's up, yo? What's going on, kind of thing. But it's not what's up, yo. It's like bre is just a word that's like yo.
Okay.
But it's in Swedish slang.
I'm trying to break it down so I can say it. Let me try it. Showbread.
Bre.
Showbread.
Vad händer?
I've got to get like the rolling tongue bit right.
But you guys, it's because of the British accent.
Because of it, it's just so. I need to. Okay, let me try one more time. Showbread. Have I passed the language check? Have I passed? Just showbread. Sorry.
Showbread, vad händer?
Showbread, vad händer?
Yeah, that's good.
Jeez! Alright. Have I passed the language check?
Yeah.
Alright. Just passed the language check. Just about.
Definitely.
You know, so I want to get into the, 163 evict. Did I say it?
Evict, yeah.
Okay, I got that alright. You're doing alright there. It's a big record out there. It translates as the postcode of Rinkeby, am I correct?
Yes.
And in full sentence it means Rinkeby forever.
Basically, yeah, 163 forever. But like the postal code 163 is Rinkeby, Tensta, and Hjulsta.
Okay.
So that's like that whole area. It's like 3 different stops.
Okay. And in the pre-hook, you're saying, I think it translates so you're saying, get up on the vibe, hustling every day, F1 9 to 5, let us live our life, obviously I'm doing my singing thing as well, Does it translate to that, like?
Definitely, yeah. And because if I succeed, then we all can.
Man, that's very inspirational. And for me, the record is connected worldwide. The energy of the record, I've been playing it on the radio when I first heard it. I'd never heard your music before, but then I heard that record and I was like, wow, this is amazing. And it fitted into kind of like stuff I play on my show. And I didn't even understand what anything meant, but like the energy I felt the energy. I watched the video, I feel this system, man, this is hard. I started checking out some of your material. I was like, right, you're getting in real hard. And then I saw you in the UK, and I was like, wow, I'm trying to see if I can hook something up, right? And then I'm just very glad that you're here right now.
I'm very glad that I get to do this as well.
It's a blessing. And growing up in Rinkeby, known as the no-go zone, I'm hearing out there on the streets in Sweden. How did you feel about that record going viral?
It is like making that record, because prior to that record, I hadn't released anything in a year, and a lot of bad stuff were happening where I'm from, like people dying and whatnot. So I really wanted to make something that's uplifting, and I knew that it's gonna fulfill a purpose in that way. But the fact that even more people related to it, because it's definitely like I didn't think about anyone else except for the people that know 163. But still, like, translated enough to like we got here, we got to the States, and it's just a blessing. And I hope that it shows the people back home that like our story is worth something, basically.
Wow, that's amazing. I was playing 163 myself, a lot, and being a man that just come back from Sweden, my family out there, we're driving around. My cousin was like, "Oh, we're gonna go visit my friend." I was like, "Where we going?" We're going to a place called Rinkeby. He said it's pretty rough around there, and I was like, "All right, cool." So we get in, I see that, we drive up to the road sign, pull up, I'm looking around, I'm like, wow, like, the blocks, like, I feel the aura of the blocks. I'm like, so what does this picture mean to you, man? I'm just in Rinkeby right now.
That's crazy, because that's exactly where I live. That's like outside my house.
It's mad.
Yeah. You're standing at the stairs that I used to go up for every day. But yeah, this is where I used to live.
I had my first Somali dinner.
Yeah?
So
how was it?
It was really good, I had the banana at the side, all on the floor, sitting down.
Yeah, the banana.
Yeah, like that's a lot of brothers, full house, the welcoming was good. The hospitality was incredible,
That's
and I had the best lamb I've ever had in my life. Like,
the lamb is sick.
Yeah.
I'm happy you went to Rinkeby, because you see how like you were there during the winter, and Sweden is kind of dead during the winter anyway. But like there's a certain energy there, and you could tell like it's the hood. Like it doesn't, even if Sweden is like one of the safest countries in the world, when you come there, that's like not Sweden anymore. It's somewhere else where there's loads of different like cultures and people, and it's sad that it's gone like too dangerous now because. For like even if like certain stuff are happening even before like a couple of years ago, it wouldn't affect the like civil people walking around. You know what I mean? Now there's been too much like gun shootings and whatnot. But like I'm happy that you had a good time in Rinkeby because it's been a dark place for a very long time. But I know like for instance when we were doing the 163 video, like we were supposed to do it like one day, but then someone, the guy that's rapping with me, his best friend, like one of his best friends were killed just like 2 days before. So like we had to wait for a week because you see like when you have certain areas that are that small and that left out of the rest of society, when one person dies you can really tell, like once you come out of that train station, like you can feel it in the energy, like everyone just brings it down. We've had too much death in like the past few years, so the energy has been very low, especially for a place that used to be so happy and safe for us, you know what I mean? So and me doing 163 comes with a whole lot of dimensions of like sorrow and wanting things to get better, because it's definitely a home. It's like a home within your home. And so yeah.
And you know, I've got one last picture to show you from Rinkeby.
Okay.
I believe this is your spot, your old spot anyway.
Yeah. You know, my little brother is starting to do music now, and his name is Khalid, but I think his stage name is gonna be like K27 because of the door number.
Oh wow. You know, Rinkeby. You know, what would you say? You know, Rinkeby needs. You know, for growth, positive growth at the moment.
Well, definitely. Like I think the worst thing that can happen to an area or like a society like that is that there's no hope. Like there's like even before, like if something happened, people pick their, you know, they pick themselves up and they keep on going and they still keep hoping for something better to happen. But if there's no hope, like there's no one that's looking to change anything. So that's like the main thing. And then of course there's like other like practical things like school. Like when I used to go to school, it was the best. It really was. Like, and we used to say it wasn't back then, but now I'm happy that I like don't have to go to school in this day and age. Schools, jobs, you know, youth centers and whatnot. But most of all, I feel like hope. And I know that at least that I've worked hard to make my music be hopeful for them. So that's why I kind of feel fulfilled as well, like I have a purpose. So it helps me too.
How do you feel like making it out of there, man? Because you've been doing so much worldwide and building and, you know, doing your thing globally, man. How does that feel coming from a place where, you know it's been tough and you're rising steadily? Has it been a surreal feeling for you?
I mean, not really, because you know when you're working so hard and just like certain stuff are happening, when you're in it, you can't really tell. I feel blessed, but more so because of what I'm representing outside of Sweden, or even outside of Rinkeby, just, you know what I mean? We've had this narrative. Like I remember a couple of years ago, they had like a riot that went on in Stockholm, like around Rinkeby and Husby.
I saw some footage of that.
Exactly, and they used to call it the no-go zone and whatnot. And when you go to the state, if anyone knows about Rinkeby, that's what they know about it, because that was on CSN and BBC and whatever. So now, like, you have this girl, and because I'm Somali, and that's like the minority that they want to pick on the most too. So I'm Somali, I'm female, I'm black, I'm Muslim, I'm from Rinkeby, like all this stuff that will make me the bottom of the bottom in the Swedish society. But like, it's not a Swedish pop star that's singing in Swedish that's out there. It's me that's singing about Rinkeby, the place that you guys even didn't want to hear stories about. But it's okay, because I'm doing it for them, and people everywhere are realizing it. Like me working with Stormzy Okelani didn't come off of me like you know, being like I have to make songs with big artists just to make it. It was like just because of the love of music, and for them like to understand my energy and what I wanted to convey to the world, and they respected it, and you know, kind of felt the same way. Like you could tell, you know, when you look at Stormzy or Kehlani, they're people that are have a lot of substance when it comes to their careers. So I'm just blessed to be the one to be doing this, but more so because I know what I represent, and I do want to change that narrative they have of certain black or brown areas, and it's just that, like, I know that there's probably gonna be someone in Bronx or Brooklyn or Brixton that's gonna like relate to something I'm saying when they like take the time out to figure out what it is. But I think it's good to hear that narrative come from a place that you wouldn't expect it, just to understand how connected we are as people. So yeah.
Great answer. And the music video for 163. I really enjoyed the video. I felt like it's a simple concept, but the way you captured, you know, Rinkeby and the community with people. Just tell us a bit about the video and the concept. You know, getting all the people and guessing the environment to come out and represent for you.
I really
capturing that.
That's an amazing thing. Like that tells you what Rinkeby and places like Tanston, the whole X Street area is to us, because like. Sometimes there's certain things you can do. There's when you're doing something visual, or even like I know that a lot of people that listen to my music don't understand what I'm saying, but it's frequency, so it's gonna make you feel something because it's genuine from my side, right? So you could do that visually too. I have my amazing stylist, and I was telling her like, you know, out in Rinkeby, like the past couple of years, when you walk past like the center or High Street, where you see people like black clothes and balaclavas, and you know what I mean. And now it was like I want to stand there in the same place that certain stuff has happened. I want to stand there wearing a pink puffy jacket. I want to bring the blue Somali flag. That's gonna imprint people's minds when they see it. Like, okay, this is a place that's had a lot of darkness, but look how they're lighting it up. And like certain stuff we were doing, like the one bit where Zed is rapping, and he has like all girls behind him, and then the part where I'm rapping, and you have guys wearing black clothes, but I'm standing there with a blue thing, like blue top with like wings. You know what that does, like imprints, like visually, it's like transcending energy through your music and the way you the aesthetics of it all. It wasn't thought out, but looking back at it, just because of the fact that I was so keen on making something genuine and like explaining, even having Zeddy on the song, he's like he's the most talented. He's so talented. His album is number one right now in Sweden. That's
I need to get into him. I'm loving his verse on 163.
His album is number one.
Number one in Sweden right now.
And that's the first time that's ever happened.
Amazing. Congratulations.
You know what I mean? That's amazing. But like, he's younger than me, and I know he can affect these kids that I want to hear. You know, that are from these areas. I'm a little bit older now. I'm 26. He's 20, I think. And for them to like hear him like a gangster rapper, tell them like, if you can, I can. If you want to get into heaven, you have to respect your mother. Saying certain stuff, you know what I mean? Like just putting him in that whole thing. And it opened him up for the white rooms in Sweden. And me, like, it made me connect even more to like these kids that I want to inspire. So like I think the whole thing around 163 was done. You know, I went on a gut feeling. I was like, I need to do something more positive. If you listen to the album, a lot of the soundscapes are darker and sorrow-filled. This was the first time I was doing something that felt more positive, that was celebratory. And then I was like, the video, I don't want any like too much stuff. I just want my people. I want to stay in the place that I know. I just want to make it colorful and celebratory, and let the rest like work out itself. And you know, I'm blessed to have a team that can make shit happen. So,
how did you link up with Zeddy and Kehlani for the remix? How did that happen?
Well, Zeddy, I've known him like he's from a younger generation from my area, and he's from Tensta, from Rinkeby. It's the same area, but it's two different stops. And I used to live in Tensta even before.
I had a friend that messaged me when I was out there, and she said her family is from Tensta.
Yeah, my cousin lives in Tensta. She released a song the other day that's really sick in the same kind of.
What's her name?
Imanella. She raps.
Okay, cool.
She's sick.
Look out for Imanella.
Yeah. I'm gonna show you later. I think you're gonna be pleasantly surprised.
Alla ska äta, raderna täta, vilda vi är gatta. Inget är samma, vi gör inte som andra. Ha respekt för din mamma om du vill hamna i Jannah. Solbrännan i pannan, vi går upp när vi ramlar. Om vi kan då du kan, tro inte något annat. När det är vi två på biten, mord ring till polisen. Den låter fint, man får rysningar när Cherrie hon sjunger.
Jag är på min vibe, jag är på min vibe. Hasslar dygnet runt, vilken 9 to 5. Låt mig leva life. För om jag lyckas då vi alla kan.
So ZE, he's like, I knew from the get-go, because now like the past couple of 4 years we've had a lot of like trap and gangster rap coming like up on in Sweden, but it hasn't been organized, like it hasn't been released it's just been like kids from the hood doing like stuff, and it's become like viral. Before ZE and me, there was this young kid called Yasin, and he like, they would leak his songs on YouTube and they get like millions of views, and you know, like a lot of that kind of music coming up on the rise, and I wanted to have someone that these kids could relate to even more so than me. But I wanted to put him in a positive context. So like it was a thing when, because I had heard a song called Little Boy that ZE had done, where he talks about like his life and struggles, and you know, having to do criminal activities and whatnot, but not choosing it for itself and not like condoning it for anyone else. That he would like basically talking about telling your truth even though it's not right. And like I just felt there was something so honestly brave about it, and I was like, I want to make a song with it, because if that's his truth, I want to put him in a context where he can put like he could write about something he would do if he had, you know, options, and like just like switching it up and like having him as that role model, telling all these kids like, if like all of us are gonna eat.
Wow.
Like, if I could do it, you can do it. So it was an amazing thing, but I already had it in my mind way before I did the song. And then one day I was in the studio, I did the song, and then I called him the same night. I was like, can you come in now? He came in like 5 minutes. And it was crazy because he had just came out of jail. Okay. So he came with a bag. He had a bag with him, like a plastic bag full of sheets with like raps that he had wrote inside, because he had been in jail for a long time. So he came like ready and strapped, and I was like, yo, you're sick. Like, yeah, he had the bars like in the plastic bag. And then I told him, I was like, bro, that's sick. I don't know if you have anything in there that will match it, but I need you to speak some inspirational shit. He was like, alright, go. And then he didn't take out the bag, but he wrote it in 10 minutes, like 5 minutes, boom, boom, boom. And so it's an amazing thing, and see him like be this big now and have the number one album. That's gonna change Swedish music forever, because they would not let people like him into these movies. But now he has to be nominated for a Swedish Grammy. He has to, like, what are you gonna, you know?
You won one yourself, right?
Yeah.
You won the Swedish Grammy. That's big stuff. And and you know, you've been doing it. You know, you've been doing a lot of stuff, man. And I just want to know right now. You've been all over the world recently. I see you South by Southwest out in America. And you know, how was that experience? What were you doing out there, man? Any collaborations coming we can talk about?
You know what it is? It's crazy, because I remember 2 years ago, like these past couple of years, it's been like a thing of mine. When Faded Forward shows come up, you go and watch them. When SZA was there, I watched it. When Drake was there, I watched it, like on YouTube. And then like getting a call this year, like a year after only, and like he didn't want Cherrie to come perform. That was amazing. It was an amazing thing, and I had a really good set. they took it so well. Like they felt
Sick.
like they were very like impressed and very drawn to our energy because I felt like you could tell like there was a lot of live artists that was so dope. We had a different energy, like a Swedish energy that's minimalistic but still comes from the same kind of depth that maybe they're looking for. So it was an amazing experience. I don't know about features yet. It's like I did the Kalani release now, which was an amazing blessing for me, and also for my career. You can understand, like being a Swedish artist that's singing Swedish and having one of the biggest pop stars on your song. It's crazy. On a remix even. But now, like, I really want to work with people here. Like, there's certain artists that I really, really love.
You're in the Red Bull Studios. Like, you got anything in the works in London right now? Coming any UK artists? Who you want to work with? Put it out there.
There's a whole list. I've always wanted to work with Nines.
Nines, okay, sick.
I really like
I was in Afro B yesterday, you mentioned you as well.
Afro B, he's so amazing. Like, last time when I had a show in London, he came to it. I really appreciated it. And he's sick as well. He did a song with two friends of mine,
he was talking about
that song is sick, like the hook.
Oh my. He come and shut down my show yesterday, man.
That's sick.
Got that big Jumper record out now.
No, he's sick.
I told him I'd ask you if you'd get on the remix, man.
I would love to.
That's about to be a smash.
I would love to. I wouldn't hesitate. But definitely like Notes.
Nice.
Yeah, Notes. That would have been in the touch a little bit. He's sick. He's an amazing artist.
Wow, that's great.
I really love Mabel, and she's Swedish as well. She's from Sweden.
Yeah, her mum is named Cherrie, right?
Cherrie.
That's crazy.
And so I would love to work with her and do something. I think it would be fun to hear us both speak on English on a track together.
What do you have coming out? Do you have another album coming?
Yeah, my album is nearly finished.
Jeez!
Yes, I'm very, very proud of it. I'm very, very proud of it. Like,
do you have a name?
Yes.
What's the name?
The name of my album is going to be Arawelo. And Arawelo is also the name of my label. Because I'm independent and I release all my music from my own label. So,
any features on there?
You know what the funny thing is? I thought it was gonna be future packed.
Yeah.
But as of right now, not too much. And I can't really talk about it because we're still having stuff in the works. But you know what? I'm so proud of this album. And however it turns out, I know it's gonna change my life. I know it's gonna hopefully do something for others as well. It's definitely an upgrade from what I did, and even like mentally. So however it works out, I'm just really happy to be putting out. And I'm putting out my next single soon. I'll send it to you very soon. I think you'd like it. It's more rhythmy, like goes a little bit with the the UK bounce that's going on right now. But it still
got a lot of drill and trap kind of vibes going on, man.
But more so the
Afro beats, Afro swing.
But it still has that old free R&B top line. So I think you're gonna like it.
That's what's up. What's it called?
This one made love. And that means it hits me sometimes.
Okay, it hits me sometimes.
Jag kom direkt från lilla Mogadishu, bror, rullar upp med köksabdi Hakim och Zuzu från rondellen där legenden är född. Tyvärr samma rondell där vart legenden är död. Det är för många lyssnar, ljuset tända. De som lämnar, inga nämnda, men aldrig någonsin glömda. Änglarna från Västerort, Sverige känns som mera vingar, de har gett mig luft. Känns tufft med snurrar världen runt i erat namn. Backa sjunger om byn nere i Amsterdam. Hitta Gary i Paris, de bara tjo madame. Stasha euro i min bank, jag med laktan. Det kör i hand, baby.
Arawelo she was an ancient queen that used to rule over all of Somalia, like way back in the day. And she was probably one of the first feminists ever, so that's why I chose that name. So yeah, and I got a really good song on the album called That 11.
Okay, looking forward to hearing. And my Somali friend from Wembley, Kaha, she wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
She wanted to ask, do you plan to do songs in English?
I have a surprise on the album.
Okay, I have a surprise on the album.
Yeah, I have a surprise on the album.
Yeah, just in full English, yeah.
It's not, no, the whole album is not in full English,
no.
but it's definitely gonna be a good surprise for all my foreign supporters.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
Okay, and just give us a wisdom quote, man, because I always leave people, artists always leave with a quote they live by, you know.
Well, if anyone that's like looking to do music or like anything like creative or aesthetic, the best advice I could give you is that longevity comes from hard work, being genuine, and believing in yourself. And if you have those three things and patience, like you can have a career that's gonna outlast everything, and do wonders that are gonna stay in time. And I really do believe so. Like doing this for 3 years, meeting people, I feel like longevity comes from being genuine.
Wow, that's what's up, man. You know, Cherrie, it's been a pleasure. You know, really thank you very much for taking time out of your day, the Red Bull Studios, to give us an interview. And yeah, man, got to kick it in Rinkeby one day soon, man.
Definitely,
you know, definitely.
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, man, much love.
Thank you so much.
Jag kom direkt från lilla Mogadishu, bror, rullar upp med köksabdi Hakim och Zuzu från rondellen där legend är född. Tyvärr samma rondell där vart legend är död. Det är för många, lyssna, ljuset tända. De som lämnar, inga nämnda, men aldrig någonsin glömda. Änglarna från Västerort, Sverige känns som mera vingar, de har gett mig luft. Känns tufft men snurrar världen runt i erat namn. Backa sjunger om byn ner i Amsterdam. Hitta Gary i Paris, de bara tjo madame. Stasha hero i min bank, ge mig laktan. Vi kör i hand baby. Jag är på min vibe, jag är på min vibe. Hasslar dygnet runt, vilken 9 to 5. Låt mig leva life, låt mig leva life. För om jag lyckas då vi alla kan, vi alla kan.
Cherrie och Zäta, alla ska äta. Raderna täta, vilda vi är gäta. Inget är samma, vi gör inte som andra. Ha respekt för din mamma om du vill hamna i Jannah. Solbrännan i pannan, vi går upp när vi ramlar. Om vi kan då du kan, tro inte något annat. När det är vi två på biten, mord ring till polisen. Den låter fint, man får rysningar när Cherrie hon sjunger.
Jag är på min vibe, jag är på min vibe. Hasslar dygnet runt, vilken 9 to 5. Låt mig leva life, låt mig leva life. För om jag lyckas då vi alla kan, vi alla kan. Den där drömmen nu jag lever den. Är på toppen, aldrig glömt mitt hem. Nej, nej. För jag visar vägen med sanningen. Jag lärde mig, blev mästare. Sen gav mitt allt för dem bakom